Hello, thank you for your interest and information about knowing your rights. This information and list of resources was developed by Community Advancement Network's staff and Language Access Action Team. The purpose of this presentation is to provide helpful information about your rights in the United States, including an overview of your rights, rights in your home, rights with law enforcement, rights in your community, educational rights, rights when you travel, religious rights, language rights, and information on how to get an interpreter. First, we will discuss your rights as an immigrant or refugee. As an immigrant or refugee, you have the right to attend school. You can speak to your resettlement agency or attorney's office to see how you may sponsor your family or a member of your family. This applies to citizens and permanent residents. You are protected under the United States law. As a refugee or immigrant, federally funded organizations or programs must provide you free interpretation services, accurate translation of important documents in your language, qualified and trained interpreters, interpreters when you need them, such as during an appointment, meeting, or trying to set up an appointment or meeting, and they are required to provide you information about how to file complaints relating to discrimination. Besides these basic rights in the United States or in federally funded organizations, you also have rights in your home. You have the same rights as U.S. citizens to access the U.S. legal system, including police protection and civil courts. Your local police are there to serve you and protect you when you need it. You have the right to be free from physical, emotional, and sexual abuse in your home. You do not have the right to abuse any adult or children. You have the right to refuse entry to your home. Police or government agents are not allowed to enter your house without a warrant. A warrant is a piece of paper signed by a judge allowing law enforcement officers to enter a home to do a search. This allows them to ask you questions and possibly interview you. You can ask for the warrant to be explained in your language. In your home, you have responsibilities and rights as a parent or guardian. A parent or guardian is responsible for providing safe and adequate food, clothing, shelter, protection, medical care, and supervision for a child. Young children must be supervised by an adult and cannot be left alone. You can experience legal trouble if you hit, punch, shake, or hurt a child in any way physically. Children are protected under Texas law, and a parent must follow that law. You have rights when dealing with law enforcement in your home. You do not have to open the door. Immigration enforcement or the FBI can't come into your home without a warrant. They can only come in if you or someone else lets them in. You have the right to remain silent. In the United States, you have the right to be silent and not say anything to police. You can tell the agents, "I want to speak to my lawyer before I answer any questions," and do not speak until your lawyer is present. You have the right to call a lawyer. Call your local American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, at 512-478-7300 for legal help. You have the right to not sign anything. Don't sign anything without talking to an attorney first. You have rights when dealing with law enforcement when you are in your car. When a police car turns on their lights and sirens behind you, slow down, turn on your emergency lights, and pull over to the side of the road when it is safe to do so. Do not stop in the middle of the road or block traffic. Police pull cars over in the U.S. for generally minor offenses. Don't panic. It is a common experience and usually results in a ticket you can pay off. The police officer will walk up to your window to speak to you after you get pulled over. You stay in the car and give them the documents they are requesting. Usually they will ask for your license, registration, and proof of car insurance. Listen to what the police officer is telling you to do and keep your hands where they can see them. You do not have to let them search your car without a warrant. Now we will watch a quick 5-minute video on rights during police interactions.
The police pull over more than 50,000
The police pull over more than 50,000 drivers on a typical day, as many as 20 million motorists every year. The most common offenses are speeding, distracted driving, which could be texting, emailing, or eating at the wheel, equipment violations, such as illegally tinted windows, broken windshields, or expired license plate tags, and tailgating or improper lane changes. Even if you follow all the rules, you may still get pulled over at the most common police interaction, the traffic stop. So is there a procedure you should follow when the police wave you down? That's what we'll find out in this episode of the infographic show, what you should do if you get stopped by the police. We rely on the police to keep us safe and treat us all fairly, regardless of race, ethnicity, nationality, or religion. Understanding how to interact with the police and knowing your rights is vital for ensuring things run as smoothly as possible when the police do stop you. You might be stopped in your car, you could be questioned in a public place, or the police could even come to your home one day if investigating a crime. The American Civil Liberties Union, or the ACLU, is a non-profit organization whose mission is to defend and preserve the individual rights and liberties guaranteed to every person in this country by the Constitution and laws of the United States. Let's see what they can tell us. But before we look at what you should do in different scenarios, let's first look at the rights Americans have when interacting with the police. Number 1, you have the right to remain silent. If you wish to exercise that right, say so out loud. Number 2, you have the right to refuse to consent to a search of yourself, your car, or your home. Number 3, if you are not under arrest, you have the right to calmly leave. Number 4, you have the right to a lawyer if you are arrested, ask for one immediately. And number 5, regardless of your immigration or citizenship status, you have constitutional rights. Now let's look at the different scenarios. If the police flash you down in your car, stop the car in a safe place as quickly as possible. Turn off the engine, turn on the internal light, open the window partway and place your hands on the wheel and wait for the policeman to come to you. If you're asked to give your name, you should provide it. If you're asked for your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance, you should provide it. You should say nothing more to the police other than asking whether or not you are free to leave. If a police officer asks to look inside your car, you can refuse to consent to the search. But if the police believe your car contains evidence of a crime, your car can be searched without your consent. And as we mentioned with your rights, both the driver and passengers have the right to remain silent. If you are a passenger, you can ask if you are free to leave. If the officer says yes, sit silently or calmly leave. Even if the officer says no, you still have the right to remain silent. What about if the police stop you in public for questioning? Here's what the ACLU says. Number 1, stay calm. Don't run. Don't argue, resist, or obstruct the police, even if you are innocent or police are violating your rights. Keep your hands where police can see them. Number 2, ask if you are free to leave. If the officer says yes, calmly and silently walk away. If you are under arrest, you have a right to know why. Number 3, you have the right to remain silent and cannot be punished for refusing to answer questions. If you wish to remain silent, tell the officer out loud. In some states, you must give your name if asked to identify yourself. Number 4, you do not have to consent to a search of yourself or your belongings, but police may pat down your clothing if they suspect a weapon. You should not physically resist, but you do have the right to refuse consent for any further search. If you do consent, it can affect you later in court. If the police come to your home, you do not have to let them in unless they have certain kinds of warrants. Ask the officer to slip the warrant under the door or hold it up to the window so you can inspect it. A search warrant allows police to enter the address listed on the warrant, but officers can only search the specific areas and for the specific items listed. An arrest warrant allows police to enter the home of the person listed on the warrant if they believe the person is inside. A warrant of removal or deportation does not allow officers to enter a home without consent. Even if officers have a warrant, you have the right to remain silent. If you choose to speak to the officers, step outside and close the door. So we've looked at being stopped in your car, on the street, and what to do if the police come to your home. Well, what if you find yourself on the wrong side of the law and are arrested? What are the do's and don'ts in that situation? According to the ACLU, you should abide by the following. Number 1, do not resist arrest, even if you believe the arrest is unfair. Number 2, say you wish to remain silent and ask for a lawyer immediately. Do not give any explanations or excuses. If you can't pay for a lawyer, you have the right to a free one. Do not say anything, sign anything, or make any decisions without a lawyer. Number 3, you have the right to make a local phone call. The police cannot listen if you call a lawyer. Number 4, prepare yourself and your family in case you are arrested. Memorize the phone numbers of your family and your lawyer. Make emergency plans if you have children or take medication. If you're a non-citizen, there are also some special considerations to take into account. You should ask your lawyer about the effect of a criminal conviction or plea on your immigration status. Don't discuss your immigration status with anyone but your lawyer. While you are in jail, an immigration agent may visit you. Do not answer questions or sign any.
You have the right to be safe in your community. There are resources available to you if you don't feel safe or you witness someone else in a dangerous situation. If you are the victim of a crime, you should immediately call the police by dialing 911 on your phone. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, call SAFE by dialing 512-267-7233 on your phone. If you believe you or someone you know has been a victim of a crime or discriminated against because of religion, nationality, or group membership, you should report it to American Civil Liberties Union by calling 512-478-7300. You and your child or children have education rights in the United States. The United States law says everyone has the right to free basic education. Students have the right to religion practices in school, for example, to wear a hijab or to pray. Parents have the right to interpreters when you talk to your children's school for parent-teacher conferences, meetings with the principal, or other meetings. You have the right to receive translated documents from your child's school. For more information about education rights in the United States in different languages, you can visit usahello.org. The information is available in English, Arabic, Spanish, and French. You have rights when you travel. Refugees or immigrants can travel anywhere within the United States, but ask a lawyer or your resettlement agency to review your travel plans before traveling anywhere. If you are traveling within the United States, have your ID papers. Remember, if you are a permanent resident, you are required to notify U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services within 10 days of changing your address. Refugees can travel internationally with a valid refugee travel document. The person traveling should make sure to have all of their documents, such as a passport, green card, or refugee travel document. Refugees who do not have a green card or U.S. citizenship should not travel outside of the U.S. at this time. If you or someone you know is detained, you should contact airport@refugeerights.org. Call your local American Civil Liberties Union by dialing 512-478-7300 on your phone or ask to speak to a consulate. Remember when traveling that law enforcement officers at the airport and port of entries can search your bags without a warrant. If you are selected for a security interview at the airport when going through immigration checkpoint, you have the right to ask for a lawyer. Many lawyers are available free of charge for this purpose. The last basic right that we will cover in this module is your right to practice religion. The First Amendment in the United States Constitution says that everyone in the United States has the right to practice their own religion or no religion at all. At public schools, students have the right to pray whenever they want to. If a school official has told you that you cannot pray at all during the school day, your right to practice your religion has been violated. Contact your local American Civil Liberties Union for help by dialing 512-478-7300 on your phone. If you are seeking language services, you can show organizations your I Speak card to let them know what language you speak and need translation or interpretation services in. These cards are free at public libraries. I Speak cards are available in these languages.
For more information, visit wecanatx.org. If you have any questions or would like a presentation, email info@canatx.org.